Hello, it's Jang here with the Mega Construx, formerly Mega Bloks Collector Series, Halo Challenger Series of figures. I'm going to be looking at each of these figures. This is the full series. Here's the ones that come in the blind bags that look like this. And this series has a greenish theme to it. Take, for instance, this War Master Spartan, and this is one of the common figures. I'll take you through all the commons first, and then get to the two rares and the one ultra rare. He has a Hydra, which is in a fairly unsaturated olive drab, which looks pretty appropriate and pretty good to have as a color for one that doesn't have any paint applications on it. The bright, almost lime color of the Spartan's armor is not the most useful. You know, I tend to prefer the darker and more realistic, closer to camo kind of tones, but this is something that you would see more in a multiplayer context. Nice molds on this. The whole set of molds is nice, but I definitely would prefer to get some outlining around that visor. This Halo Wars style Marine has the drab color and it's against a dark tan. This one I think is very massable, definitely has that realistic kind of look and feel to it. Has the, of course, second paint application for the helmet to get the cover over the nose and mouth area. Second generation mold for the battle rifle that they've been using for some months now. And really good molding around the back. Nothing new in terms of molds here, you know, nothing new for this series, but this is, in my opinion, a very, very massable figure with a good, useful color scheme that'll fit into many different dioramas. This Halo Wars style Spartan in Mark IV armor, not Mark V, very much looks like Mark V in the helmet, but look at the details of the armor. It's Halo Wars Mark IV. This one has only a little bit of green in the actual armor set itself, and that's just with the visor. So they kind of went with the theme there. Also has the kind of dark desaturated olive drab colored second version of this version of assault rifle, the newer mold that has been out also for some months now, and is a good looking one, nice and crisp. All the molds on this I think are good. This is another one that could have benefited from a little bit of outline around the visor, but I think that the green is just dark enough. I wish there was a little bit more contrast there, but at least they didn't go with kind of a lime color for the visor, because that would have just bled together too much. One of these I think could do for a little bit of paint application around the air inlets, these strakes around the chin. But otherwise, obviously this will fit in really well to any Arctic, you know, snowy kind of area. This Elite Zealot is yet another common figure, and he goes with green all around. Green for all of the armor, and even green for the energy sword, kind of the infection style of color. Not a new mold for that, obviously, but that kind of color. Maybe limits its use in realistic dioramas, but it's a little bit of variance. I think it looks cool, and we get plenty of the blue ones already. There's something interesting with this that is not readily apparent. It's the head. It looks exactly the same, at least the armor looks exactly the same from the outside as the paint application on the on the forehead, just done in yellow this time, which fits, but check this out. The hole in the head is smaller than it was last time. So if you compare that to one of the previous versions, look at the size of that hole in the head. Yeah, so it's now got a smaller hole in the head, which is much less obvious, and I feel like it's just a nice little bit of progression. It's definitely something that a lot of fans have asked for, less obvious hole in the head when you take off the headgear, since they first started doing those with, I think, the Assassin's Creed figures. But this hopefully will still have enough durability. I feel like it will. It feels appropriate with the amount of strength in there, and you know, it's kind of cradling the head anyway, so there's not a lot of shearing force that will be applied to that pin. I think it's going to work out well. And then there's the Grunt, who has changed more than any figure this time around, because they've added articulation to the Grunt, and they've also made it in multiple pieces now. So the body armor is two halves that attach at the center and kind of cradle the whole thing from the sides. This little top of the tank is a separate bit that gets brought in from the top, and you now have the ability to bring the arms out and in. So there's a little bit of additional articulation there, which is very useful. Still has the ability to rotate at the wrists, but there are now ball joints in the hips, of course, which now work much better with posing because you can turn the feet. So the feet can be rotated, and in addition to kind of working with the ball joints in the hips, you can get it into a realistic kind of motion pose, like it's walking, how they kind of waddle around. So you can do the waddle now with these. You don't have a second, well, you only have 2 axes of motion in the shoulders. You don't have a third, and you don't have anything in the elbow. So these are still limited in some ways, but there's so many more things that you can do with these now, with the ball joints and with the second joint up here. Also, turning of the feet, that was a really, really good idea. And you can take off all the armor. Let me show you that. There it is. It's a naked Ungoi, everybody. That's not disturbing at all. Yes, it is completely disturbing, but first time we actually get to see their body shape. A little bit of gap behind the neck, but not too much. It's kind of necessary with the big head to be able to rotate it from side to side. 3 paint applications, getting the eyes and also the teeth on there. And also this does use the smaller peg size for the helmet, so not too huge of a hole in the head there. Yep, and this is a common figure, so it should be fairly easy to get if you want to mask these, and it's also a useful color. Now this ODST is the first of the 2 rares in this series, another very useful color scheme. It does have the little bit of outline around part of the visor, very useful, good color for the visor. The second version of the mold design for that assault rifle, they've been using that for some months now as well. It's got the backpack on there, which looks good. Of course, that is removable. And yeah, a rare, just another one to add. I know there are a lot of ODST fans, especially fans of these figures, so this is definitely one you want to collect. Probably not too terrible of a thing that they made this one rare, but that could be an issue if you're going for a Halo Wars style of diorama. If you want to have a whole squad of ODSTs or multiple squads of ODSTs, then you have to deal with the rarity a little bit. Here's the second rare from this series. It's the Banished Brute from Halo Wars 2. Dark green paint applications on the upper leg armor, the main chests, the main body armor, and also on the helmet. So this is from a multiplayer context. Comes with the Griff Shot Brute Shot, the second generation version of that can be held more effectively with 2 hands. No additional paint applications around the back, no new molds for this one. Uses the same set of molds that are used for all of these regular Banished Brutes of unknown rank. We'll see if colors have anything to do with rank in the game. I think that they're going to go more with just differentiation of different types of armor, so it'll be a lot more obvious the different ranks amongst these. And that brings me to the one ultra rare, not secret rare, but ultra rare. So this is an official part of the series that is fully documented. It's listed on the collection sheet rather than going with the unknown. You have to buy cases of these things to find them to get the active camo, transparent figures. This is Helioskrill, is the first instance of Helioskrill being released by Mega Bloks. You'll also see one of these in Halo Heroes Series 3, and you'll see more of them in the future. This one has the Hydra there. No paint applications whatsoever. It's a full so-called gummy figure. Also has the transparent stand to match the bright green color here. Really stands out, but doesn't do great justice to a new armor set, so we'll have to take a better look at Helioskrill on that Halo Heroes Series 3 one, because you just can't really see the definition, It's an interesting choice that they moved this into, or moved it up to ultra rare status where more people could get it, and it's going to be much cheaper on the aftermarket than the secret rares, where just more of these in circulation means more folks can get them who want them. So that's it for Challenger series. My personal favorite figure out of this series is actually the ODST, which surprises me given that I'm not a huge ODST fan myself, but I think that's just a really good figure. It looks good, the accessories are good, the color scheme, yeah, like I said, will fit into many different scenes, and it becomes my favorite out of this whole series. Tied for second place for me would be the Marine, again, just super useful for all sorts of things, and the Grunt. Very well done Grunt, and I look forward to getting more colors of those. Let me know in the comment section what you think of this entire series and which of these are your personal figures. Which of these are your personal favorites from Challenger series from Mega Construx. Thank you for watching. I will talk to you again soon.